Yeah, I want to sit, I want to stand up, give me beats, when you what's up, killing it, make me turn up, Jesus died for me, no be.
Hey guys, this is Hope Said It back with another Hope Said It Uncut video. This week we're talking about It's a Man's World. It's about the discrepancies of gender roles in more traditional cultures. You can read the blog post, hopesaidit.com, but to help me kind of expound on this issue, I brought my sister. She's a firstborn daughter, and you guys know if you're from a traditional culture, that is a tough situation to be in. But check out the blog post. It kind of details how my life is and how the difference is between my life and my brother's life. I know some African, daughters, they're all daughters, and like, I get it. You don't really get it until you have a brother. Like, then you're just like, really? Like, the
differences are more clear.
Oh my goodness. So I wanted to bring Ada, that's firstborn daughter.
She never calls me that.
I don't ever call her that. However, that's the title of firstborn daughter. So let's keep it cute.
I feel like the title is rightfully earned if you're the firstborn who just happens to be a daughter. Because then you have the birth order respect, because in our culture, birth order means something. That means you're more respected. So to be Ada when you're third born, I have two older brothers. We have two older brothers, and then it's me, then Hope. And so to be third born, but then the first daughter and have all these responsibilities didn't seem like much of a perk. So.
And it's not, well, like I said, it's not. I don't know, obviously, because we have, two boys and it's two girls. The two boys are older. So being the first girl, but you're the third born, it's kind of like, but you still have that responsibility, I feel. But check out the blog post. It'll tell you kind of how it's different. I'm here to tell you kind of why it's different. So the how is in the blog post, but we're kind of going to explain why. Because what I don't want this to be is like a bash session. Like, oh my good, traditional culture, down with that. That's not what this is about. It really is kind of explaining the background for those who don't know. Other cultures don't have like Daddy's Little Princess. That's not how it is. It's more teaching the girls to grow up in the way they feel it should be. Not necessarily a bad thing, but just knowing that it's different, especially when you live in the westernized culture.
Yeah, there seems to be more training to train girls to be a great mother and a housewife, while the boys are just raised.
Yeah. I think the key word here, and what you'll just see throughout this podcast, is caretaker. That really is the key word. From birth to raising them, to getting married, to having children, to taking care of your parents, it literally is just, okay, your role is the caretaker. So if you're not naturally that caretaker mode, that could be kind of stressful, and that could, bring tension between you and your parents. Well, how was that for you as a firstborn daughter?
Well, even the way things were worded, it's like you have to learn how to cook, you have to learn how to clean so that you can take care of your family later on. I think it would have been better if it was framed as all kids need to learn how these life skills in order to take care of yourself and your family. There was never a take care of yourself, and that's important, and I'll talk more about that later. But for me, it was just, I noticed that I had more work to do. Like, oh, okay, great. Stay inside and do this while everyone else can go outside and play. We'd be playing outside on the playground. A car comes up. I mean, the playground's packed. You want to go to the playground when it's packed, because then it's like, oh, everyone's out here having fun. And so we see a car roll up, and it's like, Grace. I'm like, yes? It's like, we have to go to the store. I'm like, oh, okay. It's different if me and someone else. It would just be me. Everyone else can stay and go outside. It's like, and if it'd be different if there was a rotation, because then each kid seems like understand that we all have a role to play, instead of, no, Grace, you're doing it, you're doing this. So my theme was, it's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair. And then the answer would just be, it's because you're a girl, because you're a girl. I was like, no, this isn't it. It's just not it.
And I think that I went to the store, but that's because I wanted to. Like,
she wanted to.
I would do different things.
To this
like
day,
go to the gas station.
Grocery stores are not my thing.
No, Walmart knows my people know me. It's like, hold me back. How you doing, Edgar? How you doing?
I will go online. I just don't. Grocery shopping is not fun to me.
I do grocery shopping. I got to see the different products and anyways. But for me growing up, the reason it was different because Grace naturally is kind of like that. Like she's very, I mean, she probably wouldn't think of herself as that, but she is kind of a caretaker type person. So I think it was even easier to kind of like, oh, let's just groom her into what she really already is. Hope, on the other hand, was not. Okay. I was absolutely not. I don't think I don't know what my mom thought of me, but she was probably like, I don't know about this one right here, you know, because I was not the traditional, you know, clean your room, do this and cook. I was just not it.
If you didn't tell her to do it, she wouldn't have naturally stepped up to do it.
No.
I think that was what my mom was trying to instill in
and
her.
I was like, ain't nobody tell me to do it.
That's very true.
So that's kind of where we butted heads because she wanted me to be Grace, basically. You know, like, okay, I'm 2 daughters and I got 1 down and 1 to go and it's not looking good. And that's kind of how it was. Like, oh, I can cook. You know, I would cook maybe, you know, whatever. I can cook now. I clean now, you know.
The best cook.
But it wasn't like that. I wasn't just like, okay, well, let me cook for the whole family. No, it's not my business. And it really, really, really kind of came to head in high school, I would say. Because at that point, like, you can get away with it when you're young, you know. But in high school, I think it's more like, I think that's when my mom was like, listen, it's now or never, and this girl's failing, you know, and I'm in, you know, different programs. I was gone early in the morning, staying late at night because I worked. I still had a part-time job. So I think for her, she was just like, she's not getting it. Like, you know, it's not what it's supposed to be. And then top that with, you know, I had a whole bunch of guy friends. So I think she got the wrong impression with that. Guy friends, literally, it was just guys who are friends. Females to me, let me not say that because I don't like when people are like females, you know. Girls, the girls that I knew, they were not nice. You know, they were not nice. They made fun of me. They were two-faced. They'd be like, you know, nice in my face. And then, you know, someone calls me and says, she was talking about you. I'm like, oh, dang. Like, I thought we were kind of cool. So that's why I kind of just stayed away from that. My mom didn't know all that, though. You know, I'm not going to burden her with that. So I just was like, okay, cool. The boys are cool. I'm just going to be cool with them. But she took that as like, oh, boys. You're trying to chase boys. I'm like, no. With that. You're chasing boys. So I was just like, man, that's not the case, but you don't get that. So that was our communication thing to where it's just like, she thinks I'm fast now, thanks, but I'm just trying to not get made fun of, you know? And, you know, I'd be on the phone, obviously, because they're my friends, and she's just like,
and she's a phone person. She loves the phone.
Well, you know, depends on who it is. But, you know, she'd be thinking I'm chasing people. I'm like, no, these are my friends. But obviously in traditional cultures, it's not, you don't have guy friends. It's like, so are you marrying them or not? You know? So that's really where it came from for me. Like, I was not the caretaker type in her eyes. I was not the traditional caretaker. Yes, I'll do it right now. And oh, here's your water, Papa. You know, that's not what I was about.
And we have 2 older brothers, so there's a struggle there. We're not saying they were coasting, but the oldest one had to set the example, right? But then the dream is being the second born boy.
You gotta push.
Because all you have to do is learn from the mistakes of the firstborn and just lay low, and that's exactly what he did. And to this day, he's living his best life.
He lives his best life. He's the only kid
Carefree.
Who lives. There's 4 of us. He's the only one that lives out of state, and you cannot hear from him. And they're like, oh, I'm sure he's fine. You know, he calls when there's a problem. Like,
and then when he comes in town,
when he comes
like
in
a
town,
celebration.
It's like the prodigal son has returned. Like, it's a huge celebration. And even like he comes maybe, I will say maybe. I think I'm giving him a little more credit than he needs to, but maybe 4 times a year he'll call my parents. Maybe 4 times a year unprompted he will call just to say hi. I'm talking about like not a birthday he has to say, not, you know, just saying hi to say hi. And when he does, my mom will like light up and, oh, you made my day. I'm like, Didn't I just talk to? Okay.
But then for the girls, we're expected to call.
Yeah,
often.
it's not even a thing.
So-
Like I'll maybe miss 3 days or something, and she'll be like, "Oh, I didn't hear from you." I'm like, "Wow."
Different expectations, and that can get to you, especially when you're known as the main caretaker as opposed to one of the caretakers. All kids should be caretakers. You should all have the skills you need to take care of someone else, because for a girl, you don't want to be the main caretaker of siblings and parents and then get married and do the same again.
And I think that's really what it is. It's like you're caretaker, right? But you never drop off when you move on in life. It's like you're caretaker. Okay, so I'm almost taking care of my sibling. That's what my sister does. You know, she took care of basically like kept us. I don't know. It's weird because she's like second mom and she's younger than the boys, but she'll be like, "Hey, do this." Make sure that
the planner. You become the event planner, the historian to inform everyone. Because even communication, everything goes through me. Oh, Grace, did you? Oh, they'll do this. Tell the others about this event. It's like me tell everyone. So I became the liaison. You become the liaison for everyone.
Exactly.
So,
and it doesn't stop, because when you go, even if you go off to college, it doesn't matter if it's another state. It's like, that's great. I know your brother lives down the street from us, but you're going to tell him.
So for me, it became a burden being the sole go-to person that I had to eventually move just to have time to myself, because everyone else went off to college or in their career moved to different cities, but I was still here close by. So I was like, you know what, I gotta go. So I moved just to get a breather. I loved it. It was good. But unfortunately, I moved to a state where there wasn't much to do. So I came back.
We won't name the states.
I came back 4 years later and got my role back almost immediately.
Oh yeah, she tried to shove that to me. She left and it was like...
But no, I'm glad I did, because it's much easier when there's caretakers, because then you can vent to this person. Oh my gosh, did you hear what happened? Oh, and then we'll divide up the task. Or it's like, no, you got to call your brothers today, not me. So it's not just me. So it's much easier now that we're older, because we can bounce ideas off and just make things more efficient. Before, when you're by yourself, then it's not conducive. You are suffering alone. It's a hard job to take on, and I think she was
overwhelmed. You know, I think, and mind you, like, you're probably like, where were you, Hope? Hold up. Like, she was doing all this. I graduated from college and I moved. Like, I was out, you know, I was in news. And I told y'all about that earlier. Look at the past stuff. But I was in news. I moved around to like 2 other little cities. One was like 3 hours away. The other one was an hour and a half when I moved, you know. So I was not close. So when I was not close, obviously she's right there. So they're just going to call her.
But she was good about calling and visiting when she could. Yeah. But it's just difficult because we're the younger ones. When you have older brothers where it's like, so what are y'all going to do about this? And it's like, oh, sorry, I was busy. It's like, you can't put family on the side while you... It's just easier when everyone plays their part, and I think that's the frustration that girls have. Because when you're raised to have this one role all to yourself, and it's not delegated, it's not expected to be delegated elsewhere, it's not going to work efficiently. It's just not going to work.
And I know a lot of firstborn daughters, especially, like, I know I'm talking about gender roles, period. So yeah, it's the girl thing, but really I think because you're the firstborn daughter, that's bigger, because most of the firstborn daughters I know, they kind of, I don't know, it's almost like you're trying to really appease your parents.
Right,
you know?
You don't quite live your life.
Yeah, you're almost like, what do y'all think? Well, I don't think a lot of westernized cultures get it, because they'll be like, well, I just moved up. I don't talk to my parents anymore. That's not how it works, you know? So there's just a tug of, okay, I'm trying to make you proud, but I have to live my life.
And you're also trying to respect them and respect the family name. And you want to live your life, but then you have those who want to live their life, but they are hearing things in their ear like, okay, you need to get this job or you need to get married, and so it's almost like their life is secondary until
you want to please your parents.
Yes.
So I think a lot of the time, like, the first thing is what career, like, you know, like,
School.
You know, it's usually schooling. You do good in school and get a good career. And we're not talking about this artist garbage, is what they're saying. I think artists are awesome.
I think it's great.
But for them, it's doctor, lawyer, engineer. That's it.
And teacher.
You know?
They appreciate teachers.
Teachers are okay.
Maybe professors.
Yes. Yeah. Teacher and professor is okay. So that's what they want you to be. Okay, so let's say you got that. That's cool. You're being successful in that. The next step, they're like, so marriage or no?
It's like there's no transition.
No.
So it's odd because they've been telling you this whole time.
Book. Face your book.
Yes,
Face your book.
focus on school. And then by the time you graduate, it's almost like when you graduate.
turn that tassel and it's like, so where's your husband? It's like
what?
I had to focus on school. And you didn't want me talking to boys this whole time.
Right.
You know?
Right. And then in career, you got to establish your career. You're not going to start off at the top.
You have to
so
work your way.
They're talking to you. Oh, how's work going? Okay, so it's like
yeah. It's
what?
like, oh, work is busy and this and that. Okay, so don't you have time to meet anybody? I'm like, what? No, I don't. Oh my goodness. So that's kind of the hassle with that. Once you have the career down, okay, cool. Then the next hurdle is marriage, and they're going to want you to get married asapidly. You know, that's period. You're gonna get married.
And for those who do get married, sometimes because it's been instilled in you, okay, you're gonna get married, it's gonna be great. You grow up thinking marriage is just bliss.
Yeah,
it's gonna be, good, I'm done taking care of my family and siblings. Woo! Now I'm in a marriage, and then you realize
life has just begun.
It's more of the same
Life
because that the boy who was the gem of his parents is now a man
and
he did not learn the skills.
He's a man child.
He didn't
so
learn
you're
the
literally
cooking.
taking care. You know,
and he especially
possibly.
doesn't learn child rearing. So you are raising that child by yourself.
Yeah.
There are
depending on who you marry.
That's true.
You know.
There are some anomalies. We're not talking about them because they're rare. We're talking about the ones who, for their whole life, you can go your whole life and then it's like, oh no, my dad never watched us alone. We have friends who say, oh, my dad never cooked for us. My mom always would. So moms would step out. Maybe a mom had to go somewhere overnight. She would have to make the meal prior and lay everything out. And then it's like, oh, okay, I get. And then the father might still be apprehensive because like, ooh, I've never done this before. So
with my kids, oh no.
It's your kids, but it's a new thing for you
Exactly.
because you never learn the skills that all kids should have, regardless of gender.
Exactly. And I think that the pressure to get married, it pushes you to want to get married. Like I know a couple people in particular, they don't necessarily like the guy, but it's like, well, my mom likes him and I'm TikTok. And like, I need to hurry up. I'm like, dude, if you're getting married forever, what is 40 years old? You're going to live till, if you live till 80, that's 40 good years of marriage. What's the problem? Don't rush into something because your parents are like, what? And it's going to be annoying. Don't get me wrong. They're going to be like, where's your husband? 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 Every time they talk to you.
So yeah, that even happened to me. I had to come, it happened a couple years ago during the holidays. I had to shut it down. I was like, look, I'm not coming down here to hear that all the time. Because in our family, the tradition is you go around saying what God has done for you. So you talk about the achievements for the year. And then, oh, what are your plans for next year? So I went through, okay, yeah, I'm in school right now, work's going great. And then next year, I think I'm gonna, work on finishing school and maybe switching to another job. And yeah. So I was ready to move on to the next person, and then I hear, why aren't you thinking about marriage? It's like, what does that have to do with future plan for the next year? So I had to shut that down and be like, we don't need to talk about it no more because it's not, I don't want you to discount the achievements that have already happened and are going to happen. Because if marriage is not one of the things that's going to show up next year, it's still, my life is still good. Because I think they equate marriage with happiness and success, especially for them, because then they can tell their friend, all my children are married, and then and I have 5 grandkids. It looks good for the parents, and I get that, but your kids have got to live their life.
And then even after the marriage hurdle, I mean, it's always something. So what we talk about, career, okay, you leap that marriage hurdle, and guess what? You're not done yet. It's still gonna be like kids.
Yes.
Like
almost
you can literally come back from honeymoon. It's like, okay, so kids. It could be a year. Some people want to wait a year or two, to have
to just
kids.
have a life.
No, not in the traditional culture. It's like, what are you waiting for? It's like, my gosh, are you gonna raise my kids?
Right.
No, like, let me have my funds up. Let me, just be in the right mindset, because those kids are forever done. Like, you don't want to scar them for life just because you had them to please your parents. That's just something that I always want to stress. It doesn't matter how old you are, and I know, your parents probably got married in their 20s, when they're 19, whatever. That's what they wanted to do. That's cool, but don't put a timeline on your life based on theirs, because you will jump into a wrong marriage.
Right. There's a lot of people who you're in the U.S., but your family's finding people for you.
Yes.
Oh, I know this nice boy.
Oh,
it's like, but your family doesn't know you, like, personally. They don't know the you in America with the different ideologies and mindsets. So you finding someone for me doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. No,
it's not. We're not arranged.
And in their mind, it's like, oh, I'm helping you. I'm helping you because I guess they're thinking marriage is safety. Marriage is stability. But now in the almost 2020s, I'm pretty stable with.
I'm about to say, you can be stable without it, because guess what?
You can survive.
I got a job too. Like, I could be making more than you. What's up?
It's survival. Back in the day, it was like, oh no, you need marriage to get certain
security
things,
and all that stuff.
Because the male is such an important role, you need him to help you. But I think in 2020, you don't need that. You can manage. You can manage.
You can manage.
You can manage.
I think so. I just think, just don't force anything. I'm not saying don't get married.
No,
just don't
I'm still
force
an advocate for marriage.
Absolutely.
But I'm gonna
don't
keep
force
doing my thing.
And don't do it just because, like, if your conscience, aka Holy Spirit, is telling you, not this one. If there's red flags that are coming up and your parents are just like, I don't see the problem. He's a good guy. They don't know him, and you're gonna have to be living with this person, waking up with this person. It's a hot mess if it's not the right person. And also on the kid note, I know that can be a touchy subject because some people have infertility issues or something like that. So I don't even think people take that into consideration when it's like, why don't you have kids? Why don't you have kids? Well, I'm not going to tell you, dude, I've been trying for like 6 months.
I secretly had a miscarriage.
I'm doing IVF right now, but it didn't take, and it's unfortunately like the silent thing you have to just mourn, because no one else is going to do it. Even if you may tell your parent, it could be like one of those, well, what's wrong with you? I don't know. Or
they might suggest all this stuff. And you don't want to hear, you didn't want suggestions. So
I just wanted a pat on the back. I don't know, So that's another thing that I've seen from people. When I did the blog post, when I initially did it, my goodness, the response was ridiculous. And I even got a response where the girl was saying, I basically married for my parents in my 20s. The man was horrible. I eventually got divorced, and now in my 40s, for the first time ever, I am living by myself. And I'm like, that actually is a big thing, because that's what you're taught. Like, you're with your parents, and then you go to your husband. There's not that you time. And you need that you time because you're literally not the same person from, grade school to after college or, and beyond, young adulthood. You're not the same person, and you have to be with yourself and be like, what do I like? What do I like to do?
What is my passion? What's my purpose? What am I on this earth to do? And it's not just raise kids.
But that's what it is. It's like, okay, a caretaker, and then I'm using the skills that I learned with my parents in real life with my new husband. It's like, no, you need that in-between buffer. So that's crazy that she was just like, first time in my life I'm living by myself in my 40s. Me, I lived by myself when I was 19. If I didn't have that time, are you serious? I wasn't even really marriage minded, like that. I wasn't the one who was planning my wedding day when I was 5. I was just like, it's gonna happen. But I'll tell you what, I'm gonna have a job, That's just what my focus was on. So I just think you just follow your passion, you follow your purpose, and everything else will find you.
That's one of the frustrations girls have, because it seems like caretaker is only, but it's supposed to be that and so another frustration is the hierarchy changes when you become a mother. It's not like, oh, now that I'm a mother, I'm now qualified. It's
just letting you know what we heard, the hurdles. Career, and we talking about clearing marriage, and then we cleared motherhood. But even when you clear motherhood, guys, you ain't creme de la creme. Continue.
Right. You are, it's now becomes Your husband is number one. Oh, and then when you have kids, it is kids.
No,
It's which one?
grandchildren are the best.
Grandchildren's
No,
first, and
first.
then husband, then you.
Yeah.
That's the order. And
Yeah.
so
I mean, my parents are awesome. They love their grandkids. That's one thing you cannot say that they do not do. They love their grandkids. And then let my husband come, because my mom watches my youngest, and my husband drops him off there. So let him come and let him be a little just tired. Let him have a cold or something and not be 100% himself. I'm going to hear it. It's going to be like, hey, what's wrong with him? Is there something you did? I'm like, what?
and that's the thing. Part of the role is you're not take care of your family.
So it's always caretaker.
If you don't, then you're not doing a good job.
Absolutely. So, it's always, are you taking care of him? Are you taking care of your children? Because my kids could have a cold. Well, what are they eating?
Are you putting a sweater on them?
Yes, exactly. Like, they're not wearing 2 socks. What? They don't need 2 socks. It's cold. So that's just, it's cold. So that's really what the frustration is. Everything in your life is pointed toward caretaker. That's all they know. It's not even them being malicious. That's all they know. They know that women are supposed to be nurturers. Women are the caretakers. So this is your role. Why aren't you just not accepting it?
And your job is just never done. And your job, you will never be on the same level as the brothers.
No.
Because we have an oldest brother who has 3 kids. And Hope also has 3 kids.
Yeah, but you would
different mindset.
Okay, so everybody's busy. Like, life is just busy. Okay, so everybody's on the same page. But apparently, I can never be too busy.
You're never.
My brother can always be busy, like booked to capacity. He could be working from home. He could be off for the day, and he's booked to capacity.
They won't check.
Meanwhile, I'm like, I've been at work for 12 hours. Like, hello.
There's no excuse for that. It just goes back to you're the girl.
We're literally, yes, because now we're pound for pound. I'm like, dude, I'm married too. I got 3 kids too.
And her kids are younger, so
my kids are younger.
To be a little harder.
Yes,
but
and it's just like
they'll be like, I know you're busy, but
it's always but. It's like, I know you're busy, but I need this.
It's like
at 6 o'clock. It's like what? What happened? It's you're not taking. I don't know. I feel like it's just easier to ask the girl to do it. I don't know why.
Even if they're upset with our brothers, my parents won't tell them directly. They come to us.
They'll come to us and be
why
like,
didn't he do this? And I'm like, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
This is not
I
my
don't even
business.
know the situation.
I mind the business that pays me.
But then I tell them, hey, they're mad at you because of this, and they're like, huh?
Yeah. Why didn't they just tell me? I'm like,
go directly.
So basically, you can just understand, I guess, the girl's frustration in those kind of households, because it's different. If you live in that country of origin, then it's like, oh, this is just life. But you live not in that culture, but you're in that culture at home, and you're living your life.
So you're juggling 2 cultures.
You really are. It's almost
the
like
independent life here, and then the traditional culture from back home. It's a struggle, but some of the solutions that helped, because right now when we're talking about it, we're not upset.
No.
We had to get to that realization, and it started with a meeting, communication, because I was done. I was like, look, we have to sit down multiple times as a family, and then just as the 4 of us, it's like, look, we're not going to take care of the parents by ourselves. This is what's happening. You don't hear a lot of the things going on. They don't treat us the same. And they're like, what, huh? It's like, this is what, and then we have to explain it. And then they were like, oh yeah, we're going to have to share the burden. I was like, yeah, yes.
That's obvious. So communication is key, I think, and just being able to acknowledge it.
Yes.
I think my main thing, even when I was writing it, I was like, man, this is just me really and maybe a couple people. With that response, I'm like, no, guys, this is a thing.
Yeah.
Like, this is a thing. So I think it's cool to just know that and have that support and get in the mindset that it's not necessarily our parents being evil or this and that. Now, some situations that I've heard are like borderline abusive. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about the regular, I'm just trying to train you up to be a good girl, and it's that caretaker mentality. So at least in the back of your mind, if you think like, okay, I know what you are trying to do, but here's what I need to do, and then also not getting caught up too much in that, so that you're literally living your life for them. You need to live your life for God. That's number 1. Yes, you want their support, but you really don't want to regret anything and be like,
Right.
well, it's because
And
my
be
parents told
resentful.
Yeah, like,
It's not-
you'll be in a bad marriage and be like, because my parents told me.
Right.
You'll have 5 kids and you'll be like, I didn't even want one. You know, like, what's going on? And you can't blame your parents for that
Right.
necessarily, because it's like, well, you're the one that did it. I get it. You had that, you know, those voices and that continual nagging, but at the end of the day, you make the choices for your life. And unfortunately, sometimes it's just having to create boundaries if it
And
gets that
space.
bad.
If it means you have to move, well, it might come to that. I don't know. Just kind of see what needs to happen. So communication first.
Yeah, communication
and then
first.
go from there.
And then you have to. And then unfortunately, I have seen the drastic side to where it's like, you know, my parents and I don't really talk and this and that. They want me to do this, I did that. And that's unfortunate. I never wish that for anybody. I would hope that there would be some kind of agreement before that state is reached.
And that's another thing. I think there needs to be acknowledgement and gratitude from the parents because they're always like, oh, kids, you know, you need to be grateful for what we've done for you. You gotta acknowledge and be grateful for the kids. Like, oh, okay, thank you for doing this. Yes, it's expected.
Yeah, thank
right?
you goes a long way.
But gratitude and acknowledgement. Oh, my daughter is great at this. My son is great at, you know, acknowledgement for both. Don't just praise the boys. Praise all your kids in all their accomplishments.
I think it's just communications.
I know it's hard because in our culture, I love you and thank you and sorry are the 3 things that are the hardest for parents to say. But it has to be shown or verbalized regularly so that kids don't have a struggle with those 3 words as well, or those 3 phrases as well. So I think even if it's an adulthood, because it took until we were adults till we heard I love you from our dad.
Work through it,
you
know, because that's not what
natural.
I'm sure growing up he never heard that. You just show it, you know.
You don't say it.
And even with I'm sorry, that was now.
That was hard, and now it's easier because we practice. You practice it. It's not too late. It's not too late.
It's not too late. And I know, unfortunately, there are a lot of people where it's like, good luck getting my parents to say I'm sorry or I love it. You know,
start with a text. Maybe it's easier to write it out or
do something. But it's
handwritten letter.
Just have a conversation at first and know that it will get better. Know their mindset. Don't come all rah-rah with it. Just know, like, hey, I know you guys want me to do this, you know, but here's what I need to do.
If you are a product of this and now you're raising your kids, it's important to train both genders to be equipped with skills for themselves in their future. So don't frame it as, you need this for when you're married. Girls should learn how to do car things and whatever, typically for boys and things like that. They should cook, clean. Everyone should have those skills so that it's not a burden for future wives.
What you don't want to do is raise a man child, like I said before.
Right.
Like, no one wants that, you've been coddled all your life and now you're trying to get married to get a housemaid, you know. That's why my boys, they clean. They've been picking up their toys after each other. Are you serious? Like, I'm not your maid.
Napkins and everything. You just have to train them to be clean.
And they will. It's not like, they're boys. It's like, they're boys and they're throwing their trash away. That's what we're not going to do. Right. Be messy.
Right. You should train them, but also as they're growing up, distribute tasks and chores among all kids. Girls should not be doing all the cleaning, all the cooking.
So don't make it so that the girl's your house girl.
Yeah, she shouldn't have that burden because she should also have the joy of enjoying her childhood. Let her play in the playground. Let her play in the playground on a sunny day.
Flashbacks.
A beautiful sunny day when the sun don't go down till 8:30 p.m.
She don't remember.
How do I not remember?
It was in December. It was cold.
It was not what? Summertime.
Either way,
it was packed. It was packed. Swings.
All those people grown and gone. Okay, grown
and so was the playground.
The playground was gone. Woo! It was naked. This is a man's world, but what did the late great James Brown? Not great. I don't know.
Like that.
Don't know if he's great. Don't want some R. Kelly situation going on. So let's just say late. That's the only facts we know. Late James Brown said, what? How did he finish it? But it'd be nothing.
She don't know. She's stalling.
Nothing without a woman or a girl.
That's the key.
Hello. That's what it is. We keep the world going around. Right. That's why.
So
they
acknowledge
treat us like that.
Exactly. I mean, just appreciation goes a long way.
It does. It does. This podcast, I wanted to really dig into the why and hopefully provide some solutions, because what we didn't want to just be a rant.
Right.
We wanted to be like, hey, let's really dive into this topic.
We came to an understanding, and that helped us. So hopefully this
helped
helps.
you? At least you know your issues more now.
Yeah, and you know you're not alone. There's validation.
Yeah,
so maybe we gotta start there.
Yeah,
maybe we gotta start there.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not alone. I need someone to vent to.
There you go.
All right.
There you go. Start somewhere.
Yeah.
Hope said it. Started the conversation. Thank you. Check out the blog post, hopesaidit.com. Are you following me on social media? It's at Hope Said It everywhere. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Are you following?
I'm following on most. Yes, I am following you on social media.
She said almost.
I am following.
Wow. Facebook, Instagram,
Yep.
Twitter. Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Are you subscribed to my email list? If you go to hopesaidit.com, put in your email address, and it'll go straight to your email right when I press publish. You will not miss a Hope Said It blog. Did you put your email in?
I need to, because first of all, I'm like the first one who gets it.
Goodness.
And you know why
How
I
you
don't
first
need
one
it?
that get it? She's not on my list.
Okay, true. But you know why I get it? Because I know when they come out, Hope. Let me do it for you. Check out Hope Said It on Tuesdays. The blog comes out. And then on Friday, the podcast comes out. She does have a little drop. Tuesday, you know.
Guys, on Tuesday is when my
See?
blog post will
Don't
come
talk
out.
like
On Friday, you will get the podcast video.
She doesn't talk like that.
I don't talk like this. Tuesday, the blog post. Anyways, guys, you know I do a blog post and a video every week,
And
once
I
a
already
week.
knew that.
Tuesday is the blog post. Friday is the
And I'm here for
podcast. Check me out and set your notifications on YouTube. Subscribe, all that good stuff. Hope Said It up.
She always does these long wrap it up.
Listen, then follow me and I won't have to say this.
Fair enough.
HopeSaidIt.com. I'll talk to you guys later. Next week is a new topic. Bye.
At the beginning, I was looking at that, and then I went, oh.
Okay, ready?
When you want some killing it, make we turn up. Jesus died for me, no be fake talk.